Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where we take. I mean, how do I say this? Where we interfere in something that needs to be interfered with. Nevertheless, I am your host Jimmy T. That is my co-host Dr. Jeff Lippman, and welcome to the AEW edition of Outside Interference. I guess the 2024 edition, Jeff, because this is really part two. But we haven't done one for about, 2 years now, maybe?
Well, you just re-released them about 6 weeks ago. But yeah, I think it's at least 18 months ago. And it's funny that we're doing it now because we were actually supposed to do it a few weeks ago and we didn't. And this timing is going to seem suspicious to people because there's sort of been a little brouhaha in internet wrestling community-wise that AEW Disciplinary Committee sent out a tweet asking for people's opinions on, if they were an AEW fan and they don't enjoy it anymore, or if they're just a lapsed fan, or they've stopped being a fan altogether, or turned, all the way to the evil dose side of just hating it and not watching it. Period. What happened? What do you think? What do you think went wrong, and what would you do to make it better? And
Interesting.
Then JD from New York did the same thing. Did he copy AEW Disciplinary Committee? Probably. Do I care? No. I mean, I don't want to venture into that. But then that spurred on like a piggyback quote tweet from someone named Marie Shadows, who I just followed. I just subscribed to her YouTube channel. But she doesn't follow me back. And by the way, JD has me blocked on both accounts.
Me too, dude.
Yeah.
I'm blocked as well from JD. What the hell's his problem?
Right. So I just want to put that all out there. And she's like, I guess in the course of JD's, let's try to come up with constructive solutions on how to fix, AEW. And he's like, I want to set up a panel. And then instead of setting up a panel, I guess he invited his former ex-host, Andrew Bidella, who,
What a shit.
Right. And Maria Shadows basically was of the opinion you made really safe choices there. You weren't really doing a panel, and we know he's your former co-host. He's your pal, and that's not really going to open up a big dialogue. And apparently, Bidella got really upset about it. And the funny thing about Bidella is that he's got a very inoffensive brand. He keeps it very low key, generally positive. His harshest criticism of anything is like, I didn't really dig that. But almost everything else he likes and he digs it, and he calls it good business. And, he sort of piggybacks on everything, but he's generally positive, and he tries to put forward in a very professional, almost like newscaster way, which I find funny, probably too much. I probably relish in it too much because it's just the wrestling space doesn't lend itself to that. It's like
Absolutely not.
So it's like, dude, pick a lane, say something, be a person. But this apparently got him really upset. He's like, I've got kids, and you spewed lies and all that. So I was listening to her show to see what it was that she said that was so awful, and I didn't really hear anything. But and I'm not biased for her. Maybe I'm biased against him. It's not like I dislike him. I just feel like there's something very disingenuous about his very even Steven down the middle sort of
100.
I feel like he's sort of like probably the nicest lawyer in town who is running for the city council of the town of 6,700 people, and there's nothing particularly important and nothing particularly offensive, and that's when he's busy trying to he's like the guidance counselor of the middle school, making sure nobody's offended or hurt. And I don't know. So anyway, so it's going to feel like our show, Outside Interference, which is in essence basically trying to do the same thing. It's going to feel like it's piggybacking on all of that, but it's not. It's just that we're
the originators, Jeff. We did it first, okay?
Yeah, we did. I mean, first one, it's first. It's out there 18 months, 2 years ago, the first one, and we've been trying to do this, and just you're in Melbourne, Australia. I'm on the East Coast of the United States, so there's a 14-hour time difference. It's not exactly easy, but anyway, here we are with Outside Interference, AEW, 2024 into 2025. By the way, we also did one just for people like, oh, it's always AEW. We did one for WWE also, and point one was get rid of Vince, and we're like, well, that's never going to happen. So
it did.
It did happen. Not as a prediction, just as one of the things that would have to happen. And like out of the other probably 11 points that we had for WWE, probably 6 or 7 of them they've addressed almost fully. There's, I haven't gone back to re-listen to it, but there's certainly room for improvement. Now in AEW, I called it the baker's dozen, which for those of you who don't order bagels, that's 13. But I think we ended up with 14, like a baker's dozen and a bonus. And of those, none of those have happened. And all of them, and in my view, all of them have gotten worse. But in full disclosure, I'm in my 26th week of not watching anything AEW except what I can't avoid on the few podcasts I listen to and clips on Twitter that I can't avoid. But beyond that, but what I'm seeing from viewership and what I'm hearing from podcasters and what I'm hearing from and what the general temperature of the community is that certainly none of them have been resolved. If anything, they've gotten worse.
That's an understatement. And you've probably done the right thing, Jeff, that you haven't watched it in like over a year. So believe me, unlike myself.
It's half a year.
Oh, it was half a year? Okay. Well, for me,
MJF had not come back yet. Mercedes Moné had, but she hadn't wrestled a match yet.
Yeah, technically that was the last time I'd watched Dynamite up until myself and the vet ended up getting all of AEW's shows on HMG to review. So, the wreckage has become a combined AEW wreckage now, not just a Collision wreckage. So now I have to watch Dynamite again, unfortunately for me. But
here we are. Rampage and Battle of the Belts are going away, permanently, probably.
Is Battle of the Belts going away 100%? Do we know that?
Nobody knows anything 100%.
Oh, well, that's true. And as far as Rampage goes, I think that's done now that this Shockwave show is apparently coming in. So we'll see what happens there.
We don't know what
good riddance anyway.
All I know is they filed for a trademark for Shockwave with the typical Class 41, for any kind of wrestling. I mean, it could be a pay-per-view. Maybe it's a TV show. Maybe it's a TV show that they're trying to sell and market around. You've read everything, though. The Darn Fox, they're going to do a highlight show. Whatever. If it's just hour 3 of Dynamite or hour 3 of Collision, if it's just another Rampage / Ring of Honor, who gives a wet fart?
Ah, absolutely. I just want to welcome Cold Blooded, who's in the house. Evening.
We like all vampires here.
Yeah.
We rated that double X ones.
He also says Baker's Dozen should be Britt Baker's new faction.
There
I
you
like
go.
it.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. Good stuff there. Cold Blooded. That's very good. But Jeff.
Is he a new comment king?
He's up there now. He's pretty much he's been saying some great comments. But also Gruss is in the house. Shockwave equals Rampage 2.0. Well, let's hope not. But it seems like that's the case. But we'll see what happens if and when that show debuts and on where that show debuts. But anyway, Jeff, let's get into some of this outside interference AEW 2024 edition. Now, where do you want to begin? How do we begin this show? Because I can take us anywhere you want. Because as far as booking goes, I'll say this. They are trying to be WWE right now, especially watching Dynamite last week, for example, and I'll lead you in there. The show was mainly full of promos, which is very WWE-esque. AEW don't generally do that. Usually it's full of matches. It's all about matches, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what Tony's, and I use this term lightly, this is Tony's specialty apparently, right? I don't book storylines, I book wrestling matches. But here he is trying to sort of, change the way AEW does business, because all I'm seeing now is a whole bunch of promos, and really, they still don't make sense half the time with what's going on with current storylines, and they still don't know. And I remember us saying this back then on the first edition of this very show, that they don't know how to, they know how to begin a story, they don't know how to end a story though. And that is still very much the case right now in AEW.
Yeah, I remember that there was a time when they knew who they wanted to make a champion and how they wanted to get that person to the championship, but they had no idea what to do afterwards. Now, I mean, all they've done is add championships after championships. But I mean, booking, creative writers, what I mean, to be frank with you, I don't think any of us know what the actual creative team can offer and what they could put on the screen, because I'm not sure that we've seen much from them independently. I mean, I know that we've seen a lot of wrestlers do their own thing, which has led to similar storylines, identical insults, identical promos in the same shows, which is a little bit dopey. I mean, I know that we're on like the third takeover faction in 1 year, and one of them is by apparently John Moxley, who's so upset and hates the AEW title so much that, you know, this is his fourth time holding it, and like nobody's had more success and has enjoyed AEW more than Moxley. So like if they wanted to have a faction of people who were disillusioned with AEW, there's a lot of people you could have started. I mean, bring in Miro, bring in Roosh, bring in Lance Archer. You know, there's a lot of the Gates of Agony. I'm probably forgetting people. I'm sure I'm forgetting like 100. You know, Bandito, whatever. There's an army of people that could be upset with their treatment in Wardlow. I mean, fuck. I mean,
Wardlow, another one. He's on the milk cartons right now, dude. He's same with Bandito, long gone.
Ricky Starks. The only place I know to start with outside interference is a complete reset. It's got to start with the impossible premise that we had with WWE, which became possible, which is Tony either needs to be fired, removed, or get out of the way.
Fired. If the company was public, that is definitely, you can make a case that maybe they would try to do that. Unfortunately for us and everybody else, the company is private. TK, though, like you said, he just needs to put someone that's in the wrestling business that knows what they're doing, first off, and just, you know, put your ego aside, Tony. Just put your ego aside and let someone that knows what they're doing do the actual job. And then, you know what I mean, you know, interact here and there and give your little, you know, opinions and whatnot. But
I mean, I happen to believe that they have people there. I mean, one of them just resigned. I think Jimmy Jacobs could be. I mean, Will Washington probably has no business being there, but I don't know the man personally. I mean, you know, Jennifer Pupperman. I all I know is what I've heard, but from what I've seen since she's been there, where she's saying she's so involved with the women's division, it's gotten progressively worse. But I mean, but there's like Jerry Lynn is there, Sanjay Dutt is there, Jeff Jarrett's there, Jay Lethal is there. Absolutely. I mean, there are people who understand wrestling. Arn Anderson was there. Jake the Snake Roberts is there. There are people who understand wrestling and can put things together. Let them, you know, let them do their thing. And Tony, I offer this as an easy off ramp, because part two, or not part two, but number two is get rid of Ring of Honor. It's a distraction. It's not needed. Get rid of it. But if you don't want to get rid of Ring of Honor, and you're trying to experiment with it as a TV show, get your hands off of Ring of Honor and let some of the people there who are there to run it, let them run it, and let's see what they can do. Because apparently Ring of Honor's done some pretty good things that nobody's seen. It just gets confused because you hear about, you know, Queen Aminata is doing great things in Ring of Honor, then she's
killing it, dude.
But then she comes to AEW and loses. Athena, you know, is the number one women's wrestler in the world. She hasn't been on TV more than once in 2 years.
That's unbelievable. That's crazy.
So, you know, they brought the whole big thing about Billy Starks, and they basically mimicked the story with Mariah May and Tony Storm. That's fine. You know, wrestling mimics wrestling. It's fine. But let them. Just take your hands off it, and let's see if they can put together a better product. And if you're going to try to shop that to networks, you know, for less money, now that you're not completely married to Warner Brothers Discovery, shop it. Do what NXT did. Get you know, take less money. Just get yourself on the network.
Why not? I mean, absolutely, why not? But before we continue on, there's a few comments in the chat. Gruss says that the Moxie AEW invasion will be an Elite redemption storyline. Omega will return to make the Elite face and defend AEW. I actually agree with that. That's 100% what this is.
But who
I
cares?
totally agree with you, Gruss. I know, but look, you know me. I've always been a Kenny Mark. He's the only one that I actually like, in this company. But even then, he's 41 years old. How long does he
How's,
even have left?
how's his health?
Sorry.
How's his health? Like he had diverticulitis surgery. How's his health? Like is there a realistic chance that he's going to wrestle again at even 60% of his past level?
I doubt it because he wrestles, a pretty physical, acrobatic type of way. He needs a grounding. I mean, he's grounded himself a lot compared to the past, but I think we're going to see a very different Kenny Omega when he does come back.
I
And
mean,
when he
he's been
does
out
come
two
back,
out of the last 3 years.
yeah, dude, it's honestly the show's not the same without him. Like I said, I'm a big Kenny fan, always have been.
And
And
I'm
without
sorry,
Kenny, it's just
I feel like the Bucks are irredeemable. Jack Perry
oh,
is irredeemable. Adam Page,
Jesus.
you could do things with Adam Page. Um, Okada, I suppose. I don't know.
I'm still a fan of Okada, even though I'm a bit skeptical about what they're doing with him right now. But he's entertaining though. But he doesn't suit the elite fold per se. But
I can't say I haven't seen him.
yeah, don't worry. The good thing about him is just he calls everyone bitch and flips the bird. That's it. You know what I mean?
Great. Isn't that what the little schoolgirl Japanese uh, Josie performer does with everybody he's in love with?
Well,
Maki
for
or
you,
Otami or whatever her name is.
for you
Makito.
saying that, he will turn and say "fuck you, bitch."
Isn't that what she
That's
did?
what he'll do. Yeah, well,
Same thing.
something like that. We got
So
new
what?
singers now. We got genies that are singing also at the moment. But anyway, Gruss also says
How's
if
that
AW
funny from a 6'3" guy who's supposed to be the best wrestler in the world? I mean, there must be something wrong with him, right?
I mean, clearly has to be,
Okay.
but we'll get into the big guys in a moment. But if Gruss says if AW can't get Shane McMahon for the Moxley faction, Jeff Jarrett will be the. Oh no, don't go there.
Yeah, please.
Come on,
That's
dude. We
another
don't
thing.
need a
Stop
GFW.
hiring ex WWE guys, especially ones that are old. I mean, you called the company the Weinstein Company of Wrestling. Shane McMahon is McMahon. Stop it. Stop it already. It
God, I know, right? He says that, and he still
just
comes.
give it up. Just these are patterns that are deleterious. They're not helpful to the product. They're against everything that the company was supposed to be. I mean, we knew that there were a whole lot of sweet little lies it started with, but like the entire founding of the company was to show you that the indie wrestlers could be great, that the indie wrestlers could be stars, that style could be star style. And all you've done is told your fans that's not true, except for the ones that I really like, or that I can't get rid of because they cost too much, or that I can't get rid of because the PR would be too bad. I mean, it's ever since he hired, I don't know, it was probably Matt Hardy was the first one, but then it was Miro, Brody Lee, I guess, was the first, but but it got like after Miro, like it went to Tony Nese, Sari Davari, you had Cole Caden, you had Parker Boudreaux. It's like everybody that came there, Christian Cage, Jeff Hardy. It never ended. Now it's Shelton Benjamin and MVP. I mean,
That's kind of cool. I'll give him that. That's a positive for me.
listen, I'm glad they're getting work, but it wasn't what AEW was supposed to be. It was. Listen, I get why they started with Jericho as the first champion. I think bringing in Moxley from day one was a coup, and by the way, he was like 33 at the time, so
Yeah.
that was great. But I'm not saying like you reject everyone from WWE. I mean, but like it wasn't like they were picking and choosing. It's just like it was once someone was available. It's like how quickly can we pick them up? It was like everybody, the grizzled young veterans would get a chance.
Oh my
Maximum
God,
male
dude.
models are getting a chance. Rico is back. I mean,
Yeah, well, look, that was a one-off, it seems, with Rico. Maximum male models have been entertaining as hell for me. I never used to dig them in WWE. I'm starting to dig them now for some reason. But as far as the grizzled young veterans, when I saw them debut, I was like, get this shit off my TV now. Like,
yeah.
I can't stand those guys. To me, they are talentless hacks. I do not care about them. They're nothing to me. They suck. I hate
It's
their
not.
look. I
It's
hate
not
the way
even
they
about talent
talk.
or not. Like FTR, that was a good signing because it was
Was.
was exactly. Now it's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's happened to those guys? But
Oh
like,
my god.
and that brings me to my next thing. They have so much clutter. So like later on, we can go through the roster and maybe say who we flip and who we wouldn't, who we keep and who we
Well,
wouldn't keep.
I've
But
got
like,
segments actually here right now, actually, and I like to call it "fix it or forget it" type of segment that we should lead into before we actually get into the roster and whatnot.
yeah, no, I don't want to get right into the roster just yet. I mean, that could be the end, but like, I think there should be no more than 8 to 10 fixed tag teams that are always in the tag team division. And because they have trios, that might be too much, but you could have another 6 to 10 trios factions if you insist. But the factions need to have a purpose. Like the factions in WWE, even if they don't start out making sense or having a purpose, they always get to a purpose. Like it feels like they have a mission and there's a reason they're together. The ones in AEW don't feel like they are, but the ones that are together and feel like they have a purpose, they're like mired in miasma. Like the Dark Order had a purpose. Now I'm not for the Dark Order, but at least they have a purpose. The House of Black had a purpose, but neither of those factions enjoy any success. So, that's a pretty big problem. But you need to slow down on the. You need to sort of have your divisions because you're still going to have hodgepodge tag teams and mismatches and things like this Moxley group, which would be in the trios, things like the Elite, which would be in the trios and or the tag division. So like 8 to 10 tag teams and 6 to 10 trios is more than enough, and cut out the fat. You can still use people as appearance talent.
You could, but they've just got such a swollen, bloated roster that, again, they just don't know what to do with. They don't know. They don't even know how to fire people, Jeff. That's another problem. They
Right.
actually don't know how to say, listen, we just got nothing for you. We're not interested or whatnot. Because no one's got balls in this company to actually do that. This is another thing I don't understand. Why doesn't he hire someone to do that type of shit? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. He's got 7 people with the title EVP of Talent Relations, and I don't think I'm exaggerating the number. I think this Christopher Daniels, Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross. I think that there's a whole bunch of other people who have that title. But you're right. I mean, and when they fire, it's like the lowest hanging fruit, or Kevin Kelly. And apparently Ian Riccaboni is still on that payroll. Who knew?
Oh, God. That guy, for doing what he did, should have been let go as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't stand Riccaboni anymore, and I'm friends with the guy. But,
I don't I
it
don't
is what it is.
know him or anyone well enough to pick a side. And whenever you mix politics and social media, everything goes wrong. Um, but yeah, but yeah, there's too much clutter, and part of it is the titles. I mean, that's one of the reasons get rid of Ring of Honor. Those all the titles are devalued. I mean, my understanding is the FTW title was recently retired. Keep it retired. And there's 3 mid-card titles. That's at least too many. But you know what? If you don't want to get rid of 3 titles, get rid of 1, and you want to have hardcore and extreme rules matches all the times for no apparent reason, have a reason. Turn one of the titles into a hardcore title, or call it the blood and guts title for all I care. But now you have a reason to have those matches because there's a title, and get rid of the Atlantic title or the Continental title or the International title or the TNT. I mean, these network titles are dumb. Get rid of the TNT. That's going to haunt you. Change the name of those titles, soon.
But they won't. They'll just keep introducing more and more championships, unfortunately for us and for everybody. But
Right.
it is what it is.
Yeah. Stop recognizing
What do you
other
do with these
companies'
companies?
titles on your show. It's not helping anyone like Mercedes Moné that she's got the CMLL title and the WTBS championship. Nobody cares. Nobody cares when the
She's Monet.
CMLL junior heavyweight champion Atlantis Junior is there, or Herpistico, or El Gonorrhea. Nobody cares that the New Japan US heavyweight champion championship is there. It was an interesting novelty in the beginning before you had 52 titles on the show, and before we knew that Forbidden Door was going to be every year, and every year there'd be less and less people from New Japan you knew because you'd hire them all away.
This company, man, it is what it is. What do you? I mean, the it's a mess, Jeff. Like it really is a mess. But Russ thinks that blood and guts title is a great idea. TNT and TBS title must go though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to change from the hardcore and the extreme and the crazy style, at least have a reason for it. People competing for contenderships, whatever, do it. You know, if it, you know,
I agree.
if you were,
call
I'm
it
sorry,
the
go ahead.
blood, like their hardcore title. They can call it their blood and guts title.
That's right.
Literally, instead of
Mhm.
hardcore, blood and guts.
Yeah, don't call it extreme. Don't call it
I actually
blood
like
and
that.
guts.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, man. Gruss, I like it, dude. I like it a lot. That's actually pretty good, and a fancy idea. Just show and actually take it away from us. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens there. Jeff, you know what? How about we get into, because this is a fix it or forget it. Now,
Mhm. Hit
as
me.
far as fixing stuff, sorry.
Hit me. Bring it.
Well, what
Come
about
on.
what about a what about a oh no, we'll keep that for last, but what about a front office face off, Jeff? Um we sort of alluded to about Tony Khan needs to step down. Now, if he was to step down, who, in your opinion, now if you're Tony Khan and you put your ego aside and you thought, all right, I'm gonna get someone that knows what they're doing, who would you go for and who would you look for? And who's available right now to even, try to coax to even bring in?
I think that there's two people I would look to, and you don't need to bring anyone in. I would elevate Jeff Jarrett, and I would make a deal with Chris Jericho. You're no longer an in-ring performer. You have a 10-year guarantee contract. You're doing creative. You have the book, but you're not. Your name doesn't go in the book.
It's interesting. I like that.
I think Chris
Would his
Jericho is
ego
smart.
allow
I
that to
think he
happen?
knows wrestling, and I think as long as he's secure and he's getting his money, he's fine.
I hope so. I hope you're right. It'd be great if he was to do that, because I think he does have a decent mind for the business, and I truly mean that. Like, I'm not just saying that. I do
Like
think
Brian
he does
Danielson,
have.
absolutely not. I think he books the same way Tony does. But listen, I don't know this for sure, but I think that Malcolm Bivens, Stokely Hathaway, I think he has a good mind for business and booking. Maybe make him part of the team. Uh, Again, I don't know the skill sets necessarily of Sanjay Dutt and Jerry Lynn, and I don't know if Jimmy Jacobs would come back under these conditions. I don't know who's more writer, agent, producer, booker, who's doing the planning. But whatever it is, like Will Washington, when he came in, he was supposed to be a continuity manager, and there was no continuity. The continuity got worse, if anything. So that's obviously not what his job is, or nobody, or you don't get rewarded if you try to do your job. But I think that's what I would, but I'd start with Jeff Jarrett. I mean, I'm not saying he would be a fantastic booker, but with the roster that they have and the players have, all you need is booking that makes sense. All you need is Billy Corgan, NWA level stories, and your product would be improved by, I don't know what, 50%.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a good, actually, sort of segue to say, would it be time for, NWA to shut up shop and bring in Corgan into AEW?
I think that's a whole different conversation involving a whole different guy who's wealthy and funding his own thing just at a much smaller level. He doesn't have nearly the money that Tony has, but he's not using nearly the expenses he has. That's a whole different. I mean, that could be a different outside interference for a different day. But Billy Corgan can book wrestling. I mean, when he, Cornette, and D'Amore, and I think for a while Cornette were working together with Impact or TNA, then Impact. I don't know if all four of them were ever there at the same time, but Impact was good. I mean, Impact was fun. I remember Rosemary was doing things. The Broken Universe was happening, still original and fun. It wasn't like, it was a purposeful meme. LAX did the drive-by things, and they had the clubhouse scenes. I mean, you know, they were sort of the dirty, gritty versions of when like Legado del Fantasma and the D'Angelo family pretends they're running like crime syndicates in NXT. Like what they do, collecting rent from the merch stand and the gym. But that anyway, yeah. I don't know. I just I would just sell for average. I mean, I think that Jay Lethal did some booking when he was with Ring of Honor. I think he booked the women's division. I mean, no one person, maybe a little committee, and then Jarrett is the head. And listen, I don't know that Jericho actually knows a darn thing, but I think he does. And I think for the security, he'd do. And if he wants to be on camera, let him be the GM. And once every couple of years, he gets into a fight with somebody, and has to remind them he can still wrestle. Like eventually, Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis will have to do.
Well, Gus thinks that Tony Khan needs to bring in Scott D'Amore and Jericho can go. And Cold Blooded says,
"Go ahead."
Sorry.
Yeah, read the.
No, I was going to say. Cold Blooded says he's 100% with Jarrett. He's been around the block a couple of times.
D'Amore just started Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and they had a pretty good first weekend. They brought a lot of big names, and including some people from AEW and TNA.
No, absolutely. Look, they've got options. They truly have options. But again, this Tony Khan guy, he's got a bit of an ego for a little pipsqueak. So whether he, thinks he needs help, because truly in his mind, he thinks he's booking the best wrestling action in the world, like truly. So until he can change that mindset, I just don't know, man. You know what I mean?
But is he really even booking the action, or is he just saying, Kyle O'Reilly and Shibata, you've got 17 minutes, and Shibata wins? I mean, is he really booking anything, or is he just letting them do their thing?
That's a good question. He probably isn't booking shit. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure there's some crazy spots. Right. They say, when Sting wanted to jump from like an elevated, ledge, he probably said, Tony, I want to do this. And Tony's like, you sure you can do this? He's like, I can do it. Okay. I mean, I'm sure there's that, but.
Okay, Sting.
Yeah.
Go jump.
Their time management is famously bad. So I'm not really sure how much booking or agenting, producing he's really doing. I think he's just writing the book and saying who's going to win. Which, the face heel dynamic, the ratios don't make sense. When they turn, doesn't make sense. Who's face, who's heel doesn't make sense. Bryan Danielson's been face and heel. I mean, he's been doing like Big Show turns. And the joke used to be big turn could turn face or heel like 3 times in one show. Well, so can Bryan Danielson in a shorter show.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear this, but tell me if you can hear this, because this is what Tony Khan has to say.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Listen, I know you've got a lot more money than Jim Crockett.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I mean, come on. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
So your segment is what was it? Forget front office face off. Was it the question? Who would you give the book? I mean, if we had to go with outside people, I guess I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe I'd give Freddie Prinze Jr. a shot. Whoever was writing Lucha Underground, I'd give them a shot.
Right. So yeah, but I agree with that. The only thing is, are they too Hollywood for wrestling writers? If that makes sense, because Lucha Underground was all about that cinematic type of wrestling, whereas AEW is trying to be like a typical professional wrestling company, in my opinion anyway.
Is it?
Do you do that? That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you
Well,
go
you give
down that
them a
route?
mandate. You go, give me Lucha Underground, but tone it down 30%.
Yeah, you could do that. Well, maybe Dixie Carter. I mean, come on. I like that cold blooded. That's. I mean, hell yeah,
Yeah.
Dixie. I'm joking, by the way. I mean, Tony is the female version of Dixie in many ways.
Jacksonville, Dixie.
Little Dixie. I like it. That's what Tony's name is from now on. Little
Little Dixie.
Dixie. Hashtag that shit.
I'm surprised no one came up with that before.
Little Dixie drumstick, if anything. I was going to say the same thing, Gruss. Honestly, reach out to Vince Russo. You have nothing to lose. But boy, would that get heat with the fan base. So, and hey, we love Vince Russo. We work for Vince at channelattitude.com, obviously. But boy, would that bring in heat.
If they're
That's
excited
the
about
thing.
Shane McMahon, why would Vince Russo bring heat?
Because a lot of the fan base hate his guts, and I don't even know why. That's what's funny. I'm talking about the AEW fan base in particular. According to them, he's a homophobe. He's this, he's that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I
And that
mean,
will really alienate the actual company in many ways, and the fan base especially, if
I
they
know
were to
one.
bring
I
him in.
know one
Even though
thing
I'm
that
all in, I'm all in for it though.
if you sign a contract with AEW, it's like being rebaptized. You are absolved of all prior sins. You have been forgiven.
I hope you're right, but this AEW fan base, see, that's another thing actually that we never spoke about previously. Does this fan base truly hurt the company in many ways?
Yes.
I agree. I truly agree because that's another thing. For all you AEW marktards out there, stop being so, I get it, we're humans. We all like to be tribal and whatnot, right?
Well, maybe don't call them
But
Mark Tards.
hey, the AEW marktards. Well, I was gonna
Don't
say
Why
before,
don't
but
you
I
just call
didn't.
them AEW super fans? If you're trying to change the temperature and try to change the tone, you have to start with yourself.
Well, that's true. Absolutely. Facts.
You gotta look at
But
the man in the mirror. I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
I should have played that as the intro song.
It can be the
That would
outro.
have been funny. Oh, yeah, true. That's true. We could do that. But that would be fucking funny. But Gruss thinks we've been calling him Tony McCann and Tony Carter for years. Tony McCann sounds like a McDonald's burger, dude.
Yeah,
Just
and Tony
saying.
Carter sounds like it could be like, anyone. Like, I could have been Tony Stark, except he did it first.
Yeah. Brandon's in the house saying, hee, Shamo. Whoop, whoop to you, Brandon. And go and check out After Dark after we finish right here on Humming
After
Media
Dark.
Group with Brandon.
After Dark with Brandon.
Actually, I've got to do it
Hey,
for you. This one's for you, Brandon.
After Dark with Ray Hernandez.
It's actually just
Just After Dark with Brandon. Sounds like a horror movie.
well, that was the goal.
Hmm.
But anyway, but thanks for joining us, Brandon, man. Anyway, yeah, look, there's a lot of interesting ideas. As far as Freddie Prinze Jr. goes, though, the jury's still out with him for me. I feel like, is he really that good? I feel like everyone overhypes him a little bit.
I don't
You know what
know.
I mean?
Listen, all I know is that his father was Freddie Prinze Sr. and that he was in Scooby Doo. And he keeps saying he's going to start a wrestling promotion, and he never does.
Is he still married to Sarah Michelle Gellar?
I don't know. I mean, I hope so for
He
those two
is.
kids. I have no idea.
I mean, that was a good hookup back then. I mean, I'm sure she's aged now, but back in the day, she was pretty hot.
Sure.
But
Although I
anywho,
preferred the Buffy in the movie. Just saying.
I mean, I know what you did last summer. Clearly, I mean, anyway, forget that because, like I said, we can go anywhere, any route. There is a few options out there. Whether they take it, I doubt it.
Listen, I'm
But I
sure that
guess
there's
time will tell.
options that people don't even know about, and I'm sure that there's people who are perfectly good who are under contract that with his resources he could buy out those contracts.
Yeah,
mean,
you're right for sure.
let's pretend that MLW has a head writer who's, let's just pretend that they're making $200,000 a year. It's probably not true, any of it. But if I know people like to say contract tampering or interference with contract and all that, but if but if you talk to MLW itself, I'm assuming Court Bauer is their managing member. So if you talk to Court Bauer and say, listen, we know that you have so and so under contract. We're interested in bringing them on. We'll buy out his contract. We will pay you the full amount right now, in advance, and we'll give you an extra $75,000, to find someone to fill those shoes right now, or to give your in-house people a raise. Might Court Bauer be interested in that? Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't need to be Court Bauer. Insert Booker from mid-major or even indie promotion. I mean, every month Maryland Championship Wrestling puts on like 2 or 3 shows. I mean, they have continuing stories. There's bookers there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people out there. But Grustins get Richard Holiday from MLW, MJF next big feud. I've always said bring in his whole old crew from MLW and have him form again in AEW. Unfortunately, though, Hammerstone, for example, is in NXT now, right? Didn't he sign with
Well,
WWE?
he's in TNA. No, he's in TNA. But I mean, I
Oh,
don't
well, he
think.
popped up in NXT anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think MJF wants a faction. But I mean, I know that
That was a
Richard
great
Holiday.
faction, though, at the time.
Maybe I don't. Yeah, but I think right now he's getting solo star money, and I think he likes being the solo star. I don't know. I don't think the answer to any AEW problem now is bring in another wrestler. They don't need any more wrestlers. They need to get rid of 140 wrestlers.
Should wrestling companies work together and actually do some trading, legit trades, like sports?
Should they? If it will benefit
Do you
both
think?
companies, yes. But I mean, but there's such a disparity between what WWE and supposedly AEW pays, at least it's top tier, which at this point is probably the top 50%, versus what TNA pays. And there's a huge disparity between what TNA pays and what MLW and NWA and your typical indies pay. So I don't know how you work out that trade. You have to do like the relationship where WWE will have a working relationship with TNA, but they will also pay Jordan Grace $35,000 to show up 4 times.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, what can I say? And just before we continue, Scott Wolford's in the house. What's going on, my friend? Happy birthday once again, man.
Scott can book.
Um,
He can
and
book.
they do need Scotty to actually run the company. I think Scott Woodford would absolutely kill it as the booker for AEW. I mean, come on. Of
I mean,
course.
he Awe needs him to. Well, first he has to learn that it's AEW, not AWE. But
It's
isn't
all
he like a
Woodford
money guy? Like
elite. That's
he
what I
could
mean.
at least try to balance the books.
Well, he doesn't care about that though. And actually, that's a good
But
kind of
even if he
segue.
doesn't care, he should, because the fiscal irresponsible, even though it's not necessarily affecting him now. A, probably will one day in some way, but B, it's giving this reputation, or the fact that it's like a toy collection. I mean, he's not doing a better job with 300 wrestlers. He would do a better job with 80 wrestlers if he could focus.
Clearly, he's not a good focuser. He must be on Adderall at least. This
Yeah.
guy,
And then
just
maybe
by the
have
way
like,
he acts.
have like 80 that you're focused on between your men's and women's division, and like, another 35 that are sort of development enhancement.
Okay.
Your
Would
top flight,
you?
types.
Oh God, if you see Top Flight now,
No,
by
I
the
haven't
way,
seen it. Wow.
good, because they come out as pilots now, fighter pilots.
Oh,
You think I'm joking?
that was real.
I'm
I
not
saw that
joking.
on X. It was them, Action Andretti, someone else, and Layla Gray. Apparently, God bless her, they brought her
Yeah,
back.
Layla Gray's back. They brought her back. She's good, man. I've always thought she
Yeah, I
killed it
know.
in OVW as well before her current run in AEW second run.
Yeah,
But I think she's good
but the
talent,
women's
man. But
roster is too full, and yeah, but the women's
yeah,
roster is too full, and they only will show 3 matches a week. So I mean, you don't need a 40-person women's roster. You honestly, you only need a 12 women in the roster if that's how little attention you're going to pay to it.
well, you brought up an interesting point before about payments and stuff like that, and that brings me to another subject we can talk about. AEW paying way too much money for certain talent. For
Mhm.
example, Swerve Strickland.
Well, I mean, it's only rumored what he got, so I don't know what he got. But let's just say, I mean, it's pretty well known that at least last contract go around, that if you were mid to high card, sort of mid high card to, if you could be mid card and slide up to the main event in WWE, you were getting between $3 and $5 million. So let's just
Oh,
assume,
absolutely, easily.
let's assume that's what Swerve Strickland is getting, $3 to $5 million.
Well, that's the word,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That's
too much.
ridiculous.
And that's nothing against his talent, but as the champion, as the guy, they went from 900,000 viewers or 800,000 viewers down to close to 600,000 viewers. He didn't move the
True,
needle
man. That's
in
fact.
I mean, if he moved the needle at all, it was in the wrong direction. And apparently he's got lots of outside projects he wants to do, and he wants to take time off. And so he lost his title, and now he's taking time. He's not even, that interested in
He's
getting his
back
title
now.
back, as I understand. Like, I think he's done one promo since or something. But like, you know, people are like, oh, workers' freedom, that's great. It is, but their job is to be actors on a television show. I mean, so, it's like either you do an injury angle and you're out, or there's some other reason you lost your time. You go, I quit. But you don't leave and let everyone know on social media that you're doing this, and the other thing, and then come back 3 weeks later for a promo with Prince Nana and reject MVP and then not come back again. I mean, like either be in or be out, and then when you come back, it means something. Now, when somebody comes back, I mean, in the time I left AEW, MJF came back, left, and came back again.
Yeah, that was weird, dude. Even I got confused with that. Like, why did he come back for then? You know what I mean? Just for them to.
It's
That's another. That's actually brings me to another issue with the company.
go ahead.
There's too many wrestlers. Like, for example, Park is a classic example,
Mhm,
who appears whenever he feels like it. It seems
mhm,
right. We see him for a good like 3 months, then we don't see him for a year, and then we see
right.
him for 3 months. What the hell is up with that? Why do they do that? Is it because they don't have anything for the guy, or is it just him not wanting to work? Because it feels like a lot of guys and women in AEW seem to be able to say, they don't work for me, brother, and then just won't appear on television and still get paid. A la Miro, you know what I mean? Who apparently is being released, right? But I think he's become
He
such
has.
damaged goods now. Yeah, he's become such damaged goods that I
Where did
don't
you
think
hear he
even
was being
WWE would
released?
care.
I didn't hear he was released.
I heard that.
He asked for his release for like the 23rd time.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's on the roster anymore, dude. As a matter of fact,
Well,
if I look
with
at the
Pac,
AEW roster quickly,
I mean, with
sorry,
Pac, apparently he's in the white supremacist group, which includes Wheeler Yuta,
which
who,
he is.
with spoiler alert, Wheeler Yuta, I don't think is entirely white.
Well, no, he's half Japanese, actually, technically.
Right.
So,
I mean,
yeah, but
what kind of white supremacist? Plus, you got an American, a Swiss immigrant, and a British visa
Swiss
holder. I mean,
immigrant.
none of this shit makes sense.
I know it's so dumb. I know.
Plus, one of the top 3 most pushed people in the history of AEW, the most credentialed AEW. I mean, he's held like every championship at AEW and other companies while in AEW. He's like been GCW champion. He's been New Japan champion. He's been New Japan US champion. Like Moxley's had everything he wants. Why in God's green earth would he be the one that thinks that AEW sucks? And this title is garbage, so I want it, and I got it, but it's garbage. I mean, it's so stupid.
Dude. First of all, I didn't know Danhausen is even still around. I thought he left, but I guess not.
I think he's
Um,
just under contract and not being used. I mean, but let's say Danhausen is a great merch seller. Danhausen is a comedy character, but like maybe kids would tune in for Danhausen, but kids probably aren't really watching AEW. But like Danhausen
do
isn't,
kids actually watch
changing.
AEW?
I don't think if I was parents, I wouldn't let them. But whatever it is, Danhausen isn't bringing you 2 to 400,000 more viewers.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, a lot of the chat are talking about the factions aspect of things, and I guess we can get into that now in AEW. Jeff, I don't know if you're aware or not. There is absolutely factions everywhere, and I know Tony loves the Japanese style of wrestling, where in New Japan in particular, everyone's part of a faction. It's just that's how it is, right?
Mhm.
Everybody. But in saying that, it's not what it sounds. It's not like they always have faction wars, but everyone's part of a faction. Here in AEW, and this brings me into another quick sort of category. All I see is a whole bunch of heel factions. They haven't
Well,
built
here's
any
one.
good.
I'm wearing a
Well,
Shane
yeah,
Taylor
there is one
Promotions.
right
I
there.
mean, it's the old school Shane Taylor Promotions, but like a faction that's had zero success.
Zero.
What
They're losers, actually, Jeff. They continuously lose. And I like Shane Taylor, dude.
right?
And he
Like
looks good every time.
what's the
Like
point
he
of
loses, but
factions if they don't have some success?
and why is everyone a heel faction? Why can't we get a decent babyface faction? And now don't tell me Orange Cassidy's dumbass faction. You can't take that serious. That's really the only babyface faction right now.
Well, that brings me to
I
another
can't
big
think of
point.
another one.
Stop pushing all the guys who are under 5'11" and under 200 pounds, and especially the guys who are under 5'9" and under 175. It's listen, there's definitely room for underdogs in wrestling. But if everybody is an underdog and if the big guys always lose to the little guys, they're not underdogs anymore. That's just the norm. And that looks doofy. And that's why you're appealing to a minority audience, a small audience. I mean, not minority, in any other demographic sense, just numbers. And it's the geeks who fantasize that they were Booger and they could beat up Ogre in return in Revenge of the Nerds.
Do they sound like this, Jeff?
Yes.
um, Squabblefoot in the chat has got a theory on Mox. Please elaborate a little there, Scotty. What's your little theory? Also, Gruss says Moxie's faction needs to drop the BCC name, get something new. Right? None of them are freaking from Blackpool.
Why don't
Oh
they call
damn it!
themselves
I mean,
Romper Stompers if they're copying the movie?
yeah, the Rompers. God, can you imagine that? The
Why
Romper
not?
Stompers.
What's the difference at this point?
God. Well, Scott's theory is that the Mox whole thing is that apparently he wants people to be more serious. When you say serious and people, Scott, are you talking about the roster, obviously, or for the fan base to take it more serious? I'm assuming you mean the roster and whatnot. But even then, I can't take him serious because suddenly, for me, when I watch Mox now, it's like he's suddenly got into movies. Like he's gone through this movie binge, right, lately. Him and Renee have been kicking back in Las Vegas, and he'd be like, "Hey, Renee, let's watch Rumpa Stomper," some shit like that. And then he's getting all these ideas from fucking movies or some shit, and it looks even more stupid because I don't even know he knows what direction to really go. They're just doing the same
Wasn't this
shit over and over and over again.
wasn't this the story with Daniel Garcia in the Jericho Appreciation Society, that he was a professional wrestler and they wanted him to be a sports entertainer? I mean, isn't this that again?
Yeah. They're not saying that, but yeah, pretty much. But
And what is,
without that sort of context.
I mean, who's not being serious though? And if that's the case, what does he care? The fact that they're not serious is the reason why he's a 4-time world champion.
I don't know what's going on with this company, man. I used to, say I used to call this bipolar booking. It's become Tourette's booking at this point. I
And
mean,
if he doesn't want people to be unserious, stop going to weekend judo events and losing.
yeah, keep it on the low, Mox. Just
Yeah, go
quietly.
to
That's
private
another weird
classes.
obsession.
Yeah, don't lose on camera.
Oh man, this guy kills me, man. At least Kenny, who does that type of shit, actually wins a lot. Funny enough. So I'm just saying. Yeah, look, man, this is all
Listen,
over the place. Get rid
I
of
know
half the
people don't like
factions,
it. Listen,
please.
it hurt CM Punk when he went to UFC and made a fool of himself. At least Jake Hagar won 2 matches against Pelucas and got disqualified from the other by hitting the guy in the nuts twice. But Brock went to UFC and became their champion twice. Their world heavyweight champion. I mean, Baron Corbin does tournaments and wins. Karrion Kross does tournaments and wins. I mean,
Lashley has MMA fights and wins. Even damn Batista has MMA fights and wins. Punk is literally the exception. I mean, literally, he's the one that disgraced pro wrestling in the shoot world, which still cracks me up when I think about it. But you know what? He's recovered. Lucky for him.
the
And
issue,
I'll always be a fan of his.
well, he's learned how what a business is, and I mean, Vince McMahon taught us this. I mean, every companies that stray out of the Netflix just got out of the gaming business because that's not their business. They're not good at. Maybe they can partner with the gaming, but
Oh,
AEW keeps
I'm
trying to do
glad you
things that
said
are
that.
not their business, and they keep failing.
You know,
I mean, it's just like
yeah, but
Vince,
they're
the
dumb and it's
XFL, the
simple.
World Boxing Federation, the IBU or whatever it is. All those
Oh,
things
you mean the World
fail,
Bodybuilding
fail, fail.
Federation
Yeah,
and Ico Pro,
ICO
the
Pro
supplements, right?
failed.
Remember that? I wonder what really was in those. But you brought up the video game. This is how dumb this company is. If they were smart and if they wanted their video game to take off and be as successful as, say,
Mhm.
WWE's games, but more than likely not, all they had to do was get wrestlers at signings, take them to friggin' malls, right? On the premiere of the video game, where they're there at the premiere of the video game, signing autographs, signing copies of the damn game. They didn't do none of that shit. They didn't do any of that sort of promotion. And it seems like they didn't even think about doing that shit because clearly it never came to mind. But it's as simple as that. You want your
It's even
game to
simpler
succeed
than
a
that.
little bit.
Don't
You want
in-house
people
it.
to buy it. Fucking
You
promote it.
you license everything out to another company like EA Sports, like the NFL does, like FIFA Soccer does, like Major League Baseball does, like WWE does, like every other company does. Nobody
Everyone
makes
does,
their
but
own
them.
video game. They let the video game company make the video games. You tell them what features you want; they're different than yours. You get the likenesses signed. You figure out what the deal is, and they do it, and you get royalties. The end. And then it becomes free money and free advertising. And then you sell the DLCs. What they did was a disaster, and they keep trying to compound the disaster. Now they finally admitted it was a big failure. So this time we think we're going to have an outside company do it. Well, good. You learn from your mistakes, but after 3.5 years of stubbornness and lying and leading your fans to think that the game was successful, and there were right now, if I went on Twitter or X and typed AEW Fight Forever was a failure, there'll be people that argue with me. There'll be people calling me names. They'll call me a pedo. They'll call me e-drone, a pedophile.
Yeah.
I mean, like all these things. They call me
You're a
fat. They say
pedo
you can't
buff.
even run the ropes. Guess what? You're right. I
Oh
can't
my
run
god.
ropes. You know what? I can't throw a spiral either, and I can't cover a wide receiver. But I'm allowed to criticize football, and I'm allowed to say the pitcher threw the wrong pitch. Shouldn't have given up that home run when I couldn't throw a ball to the catcher. Guess what? That's the difference between fans and a professional.
Brilliant. But you saying they'll call you a pedo is so fucking true, dude. It's ridiculous. Just for like criticizing the video game. All those mark tards, you know what they are, and I keep saying it. And I need to bring a t-shirt out with this. I am an AEW fluffer. That's what they are, dude. They're a whole bunch of AEW fluffers. I so want to like bring a shirt out with that. I think that would sell like like hotcakes. I am an AEW fluffer, literally. That's what they like doing. They suck that dick over and over, but they never they never get to the end of that because that's what AEW does. They never ejaculate. They just ejaculate right on the spot the second they get touched. That's the problem. You know what I mean? They cannot finish things over and over again. They just don't. They stop doing things. They start shit, never end shit. They just continuously like spit in the face of all their fan base, and the fan base absolutely accepts it by leaving their mouths open and taking all that AEW spit, dude. Because if you try to criticize this company, like you said, you're going to be labeled a pedo. You're fat. What do you know?
Cry havoc.
You run the ropes and blah blah.
Let's slip the poodles of war. I mean, because you're going to get attacked by the lamest flock of butterflies. But I have news: if 1,000 butterflies are coming at you, it's pretty goddamn annoying.
1,000 butterflies. I mean, there's a lot of that too. Xbox should help in the game. Why should they, Scott? What's in it for them? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what they need to do is get help somewhere with everything. Like Russ says, they're taking AEW G's, bro.
All right, what are those segments you have? Because you did one.
Oh, well, there is another one. But look, I do want to get to the roster part in a moment, though. But we did fix it or forget it, and that's we elaborated at the start of the show. The talent takedown is, I guess, at the end. Would you say we already did a front office face off pretty much?
Yeah. I mean, you know how Wrestling Soups has a bus flip when WWE used to do the mass releases periodically. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if you know what Snowpiercer is, but I mean this is like a Snowpiercer, sized flip. This is 1,001 cars, flip.
Wow.
Snowpiercer,
Jeez.
formerly on Warner Bros. Discovery, canceled and was rescued for one last season on A&E, I believe.
Jesus, really?
Hmm?
Thank you, Scott, by the way. He says, I'm an AEW customer and I criticize them. As you should, man. We all are. And this is what upsets me because, I've been watching AEW since day dot. I am a fan of AEW. I don't want them to go anywhere. And we're not here just to bash the company, although
I
the
am.
whole premise of this show is about fixing it, literally.
I am at this
But
point. I'm totally done with them.
and so was I at one stage. But my job is to, talk about this company, so
But if you're a
I can't just
customer,
quit on it just yet.
you
I
should be
am.
allowed to demand better.
Well, that's right. If you're a paying person to watch AEW, which I am, which I'm sure most of us are, you've got every right to complain about the company. You've got every right to say what's right and what's wrong. Problem is when you got your boss running around also on Twitter, he's been quiet lately though, I'll give him that. But generally, you've got the boss running around saying, I know who you are, but what am I? Type of like joke. He needs to grow up, man. Become an adult, Tony. Stop arguing with. Did you ever see Vince McMahon arguing with any, Mark Tubbs online? Never. You
No.
not see Triple H.
I
You don't
mean,
see Nick
fairness,
Khan.
his text game was pretty busy.
His text game sucks too. Speaking of sucks, the Jaguars absolutely suck. All right. Wait till their fan base revolts and, starts crying, get the cons out of here
Well,
because they just don't know
they
how to
just
run a
got a
football.
brand new $1 billion stadium approved, financed by the government. So hey,
How the fuck did they get that?
it's the
Really?
NFL.
How'd
The
they?
NFL is king.
So wait, they're going to build a new stadium, even though
Oh
this
yeah,
stadium's already relatively not that old?
yeah. I think expansion for the Jaguars was like '94 or something like that. So
So
yeah,
that
stadium
stadium's been around since 94?
that's around that. It can only be. I mean, I don't think the stadium was there season one. I think they played where the Gators play, so it's probably been around since '95, '96. But yeah, I mean, it's probably about 30 years old. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
it
look it
looks
up.
a lot
I'm
more
not.
modern though than that. But yeah, I'm sure
Well,
they've
I mean,
probably renovated it here and there.
I mean, M&T Stadium, where the Ravens play, was built around the same time. I mean, when they moved here in the '90s, first they played at Memorial Stadium for 2 years, and it's been renovated, but it's the same stadium. It's the same age. They, they they hold up pretty well. I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, you really just need 55 to 70,000 seats and bathrooms to work. The rest of it, you can fancy up the suites and have better or worse restaurants.
Well, he's doing all right with Fulham, though, at least. Gruss says the day Cody left is when the Titanic hit the iceberg, and when Punk was fired, the ship broke into two. I do agree with Cody was the beginning of the end, 100%, in terms of, the momentum and everything about AEW. They did get a bit of momentum back with Punk. That didn't really last too long. And then look what happened there. I mean, this company is just run by a bunch of immature idiots. I mean, look what they did to Punk at All In, for example,
It's
where
ridiculous.
they didn't even pick him up from the friggin' airport in a foreign country. He had to
I
catch public transport
agree.
to get to the fucking arena, really?
The only thing I disagree with what he said is I think the beginning of the end was almost very much at the beginning. It's just there are certain watershed
Oh,
moments that made it more apparent. And Cody leaving was a giant example of a fissure, and what happened with Punk not once but twice, and with MJF, those were also fissure moments. I mean, the thing with MJF is forgotten because he, came back after he shut down the company for tons and tons of money, and people are still going, he's a generational talent. No, he's not. He's good.
yeah, I
He's
know he's
very good.
exposing himself. Let's be real about actually MJF before we move on. I'm a fan of his. I'm sure you are too, right? But
Sure.
but
You want to do well,
his
he's my son.
he does cheap heat. That's all he does. His promo game is very overrated. Really overrated because I want to see a proper promo, a pro wrestling promo from him and hit it out the park without having to bring up that he used to get bullied for being Jewish. He's getting coins thrown at him and all that shit. Or, he's either real sympathetic, you know what I mean, type of promo, or extremely harsh, like you fucking mark. Anyone can do that. I can do that. You can do that. Anyone can generate heat by calling everybody a bunch of marktards and drop an F bomb. I think if he was to go to WWE and done a WWE soul promo, he'd really be exposed. You know, but like I said, he's still one of the best young wrestlers on the planet. There's no doubt about it. But he's nearly 30 now, believe it or not.
Yeah, and
I
and
mean, look how time flies.
and battle scarred. I mean, he's had two or three, pretty serious injuries in that time. But like when I say he's not a general talent, I don't mean that as an insult. There's like
He's
five
not
to
Roman Reigns, put it that way.
yeah, there's like 5 to 10 generational talents like in the history of wrestling. There's like people say, oh, they're going to ruin their legacy. There's maybe 25 wrestlers in the history of wrestling that have a legacy outside of wrestling that has transcended wrestling, and half of them are dead.
Wow. But the main one's still here, and that's The Rock, obviously. Hogan was a real
Stone
transcend.
Cold,
Actually, Andre the Giant was one of the first transcenders in terms of Hollywood and whatnot. People seem to
right?
forget that.
I mean, Gorgeous George transcended wrestling. He's long dead. I mean, I
Long
think that
dead. Jeez.
Bruno Sammartino transcended wrestling.
Do you think so?
And yeah, and then you're going straight to Hogan, maybe the Iron Sheik, over time. But yeah, Andre,
Eh, Andre
Piper,
definitely
maybe
did.
Jesse Ventura,
Piper
maybe
did,
just the
definitely.
movies.
Oh, 100% Jesse the Body Ventura with Predator, for example.
Flair, maybe Bret Hart, Rock,
Yeah.
Austin,
The Rock,
Cena,
100%. Yeah.
Roman. That's
And that's it.
that's probably it.
I'm trying to think. You could give arguments for maybe Shawn Michaels, right? You could.
You'd be wrong though.
But yeah, so but I don't know if I agree though. But I'm just saying you can make that argument. Would you say Punk is one of those guys though?
No,
No, interesting.
he's
I think
next
he
tier.
is.
I would say like Punk, Jericho, Kurt Angle, just because of his Olympic credentials.
Jericho is hurting his own legacy, in my opinion, by still wrestling the way he is.
I don't know that you heard a legacy in wrestling because there is no legacy in wrestling. As long as you
There
stay
is,
on
damn it,
TV.
Cody and Randy Orton.
Randy
uh,
Orton is on the
oh
cusp of
yes, Randy Savage. Absolutely, I
Randy,
forgot about Macho.
Randy
100%. I don't
Savage.
know how we forgot
Absolutely.
there.
Ultimate Warrior
What?
sadly is.
Oh, fuck yeah, he is. I don't care what anyone
Undertaker.
says. I was a friggin' warrior. Undertaker, absolutely. Look, there's more. we're not really thinking about it. But if we
Right.
were,
But but uh, but
we're
if we
definitely
ended the
missing
list
probably
right
a
there,
few.
I'm not sure that we'd be wrong as far as like I mean, somebody's gonna say Kane, he's the mayor of Knoxville, or the Big Show had a TV show.
No.
Yeah, I got it.
We
I
got to
mean,
be realistic.
yeah,
We
Ox
got to be
Baker was in
real.
Escape from New York too. That doesn't mean he transcended wrestling.
And when we say transcend, I'm talking about these guys are recognized worldwide, like
The-
literally, not just
when
in the
when I say
states, but I'm talking about
transcended
everywhere.
wrestling, I say there's a pretty good chance that both my parents and my children have heard of them.
100%. And Hulk Hogan is a classic example. You could go pretty much anywhere in the world, even probably Afghanistan, and ask someone, do you know, they probably wouldn't even know like what wrestling is today, right? If you know, do you know what WWE is or whatnot? But if you say Hulk Hogan, they more than likely would know who the fuck he is, dude.
Everybody knows
That's
who
how
Hulk
big of a star he was.
still
Dirty
is.
Dom
It
is the
still is.
generation.
Everybody knows who
Brock
Hulk Hogan is.
Lesnar, of course.
Probably.
Brock Lesnar's another one.
Probably.
Probably, but I can see where you're coming from. Because is he truly a transcender? In terms of professional wrestling, sure. But in terms of the mainstream, like it's debatable. But anyway, let's get into the
Goldberg is
final
probably
segment.
closer.
I mean, Goldberg, absolutely, dude. Goldberg, when he came around, he was a big fucking deal, dude.
But he's
He
still a
made
star.
it. He he's still a star, but back then he was something else, man. Like everybody loved him, dude. Like everybody. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't the biggest Goldberg fan. I was NWO for life during that time. But boy, I knew people that had his tattoos for crying out loud. You know what I mean? I would never go that far. Yeah, I'll never get the Brahma Bull or fucking any of that shit. I love professional wrestling. It's one of my loves in life, but I would never, go that far by tattooing a wrestler. Nothing against anyone that does. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I personally wouldn't do it. But anywho, Jeff, should we get into the actual final segment because
Let's do it.
we've gone over an hour and 13.
Yeah, let's
Unless you
do
want
it.
to go longer and we can keep going, but
Now
we
let's go to the roster because there's a shitload of them, and I guess it's
yeah, the fix it or forget it portion of the roster evaluation, shall I say. So I'll share the screen. And how do you want to do this, Jeff? Do you want me to sort of name the rest and it's like
yeah. Just
yes
read
and
the name.
no?
You know, just read the name. You don't even need to share the screen. Just read the name.
All right, let's start. Now you're gonna laugh, all right? I'll start with the champions first, obviously. And you know what? I'll show everybody the damn thing. It only makes sense to do so. So while I do
People are
that,
tuning in to look at this
share
moneymaker right
screen.
here.
Here we go. Yeah, that's stupid. Can you see this, Jeff? Are
Yeah,
you able to see
I
it?
can see it. Hmm.
All right, let's start off with the big bad romper stomper himself in John Moxley, your AEW World Champion. Do you keep him or do you forget him?
I'd keep him.
Yeah, absolutely. Say what you will about Moxley, you keep him for sure. I agree with you on that. Let's get into but he needs to make a few changes in my opinion, but that's for another day. Next is Mariah May, Jeff, your AEW Women's World Champion. You could have fooled me though, because I could have sworn that TBS Championship is a lot more over than the AEW Women's Championship. But I digress. Do you keep her or
I,
do you give her the flick?
I'd keep Mariah May.
She's pretty entertaining. She can get on my nerves, but at times. But speaking of nerves, that leads us to the New Japan Strong Women's Champion and your TBS Women's Champion in Mercedes Money.
One of the
Your
easiest decisions of the day. Get rid of her.
Wow. Do you truly mean that?
Yes.
Wow.
Everything
I
has
would.
gotten worse since she's gotten there. I'm not saying it's all her, but everything has gotten worse since she got there.
No, fuck it. It is her because she's got an ego the size of freaking the planet, which I don't like. I don't like the way she treats her fans too. That's another
Okay.
issue I have. But in terms of talent, she's technically one of the biggest names in women's wrestling. I would say keep her, but keep her on a leash. Now, I don't want heat for saying that. And what I mean by that, stop giving her any sort of creative control because all she does is win, never gets a friggin' loss. Just tame her down a little bit. Get someone to like be straight with her and just don't let her like run around doing whatever she wants because she comes across as untouchable right now and she still hasn't lost a match. So I would say keep her just because of name value. You say get rid of her, but if she's a poison still, then by all means get rid of her. And speaking of poisons, that leaves us to the AEW World Tag Team Champions, your elite little EVPs in the Young Bucks. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, get the fuck out of here, right?
Absolutely. I mean, like 2 years ago when it was you, me, and Chris doing shows, I think we did something like if you were to get rid of 5 people in AEW,
Yeah.
I think all of us agreed on the Young Bucks being the ones, and I think they were the first ones that I was going to fire because this is just the precedent it set that you've got too much power, you fucked it up, and you're sucking. But short answer and long answer is the same. Yeah, I'd absolutely get rid of them. I think that anything that they brought with them, they squandered. All goodwill they had is gone. They handicapped this whole division. The tag team division was like one of the strengths of AEW in the early days, or at least it was on paper, and it almost feels like an afterthought, despite them having probably like 25 tag teams.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it, and they still don't know what to do. Yeah, I agree. Get the fuck out of here. I used to be. Look, I've got a funny relationship with the Bucks. I hated them in TNA as Generation Me. Then I grew to respect them once they were in Japan, and then they moved to AEW, and I can't stand them anymore. So get out of here. You're a bunch of poison Christian brothers. Go to church for crying out loud and stick to it. Anyway, that leaves us next to your AEW International Champion. Doesn't that mean World Champion, Jeff? I'm not sure, but
It doesn't.
I mean,
It doesn't include the waters and
oh,
non-country lands like Antarctica or zones like the Arctic.
whatever the case, it is your international champion. I can't even say it anymore. What's it called? Konosuke Takeshita. That's how you say it. One thing I will say before you say anything, Jeff, get rid of that damn mole. That's for sure, 100%. Thanks to you, Jeff. I can see it even here right now. So that needs to go. Go and get that operated on, Takeshita. Go to the doctors. It's not going to be, hard to do. It's pretty easy. They'll freeze it off, and you'll be done with it. But anyway, he's growing on me right now. I feel like the people are starting to get behind him, and I say keep him.
I don't care about anything about what the people are getting behind him or any of that. I'd keep him anyway. I would have always made him a cornerstone of this promotion. I wouldn't have signed the guy that's at the end. I would have made him my young Japanese star, and he would have been one of my pillars. And I think the number 4 is rather arbitrary when it comes to pillars. But Takeshita, I would absolutely keep him.
All right, so we agree with that one. The next is the goat of all scapegoats, your TNT champion in Jack Jungle Boy Perry. For me, it's easy. Leave and go far away from the wrestling business. Just get fucked. Piss off. Leave us alone. That's my opinion.
Echo that. Spend daddy's money. Go away.
Go spend daddy's money. That's it. I'm sure there's still quite a bit of that in the trust funds. But anyway, yeah, piss off, Jack. You're a hack. Simple as that. Okay, well, next we got your AEW World Trios Champions. I forgot they were that actually. In Costagnoli, Pac, and Yuta. So these are like a group over here. Um, I'm done with Cesaro Costagnoli at this point. I'd say get rid of him. I just don't like him. I don't know, man. He's boring to me. But believe it or not, I would actually keep Yuta and Pac.
All right. I don't care if they're champions. Yuta is like Jack Perry, like Daniel Garcia, he's like a living embodiment of the problem, like things that AEW invests in that will, for years and years and years, they will never get them any returns except for negative returns. Yuta, gone. Pac, I would keep. I think
Oh,
Pac is
no, he's not a draw. He'll never be a draw.
right. Pac, I'm keeping. Terrific wrestler, great. I mean, I hate to say this about Cesaro, but because of whoever he's buddies with, they treat him like he's almost like, like a Finn Balor level of wrestler, like WWE. Like he's around way too much. If he was just an ensemble player,
Yeah,
I'd
way
say
too
one
much.
thing, but it's way too much. So yeah, I think I'd get rid of him. He's clutter, and you get rid of him, you open room for 4 people, and we still don't really know why Eddie Kingston was mad at him.
I think it stems from back in the Ring of Honor days,
I know,
obviously,
like apparently
because
Cesaro didn't
they expect
respect
you to
him
know.
back then. But I mean, for that kind of animosity from 15 years later, you gotta have some stories. You gotta have some. Anyway, I'd get rid of him so you don't have to do a damn thing.
All right, well, that's funny. Yuta, for some reason, he's not a draw, never will be a draw. But I
All
like
right,
the way he works, though. I think he's a
we've
good
already talked
wrestler.
about
But
him. Let's go to the
and
next guy. We have 300 more wrestlers to
the
go.
next guy, yeah. Well, don't worry, we'll get through it pretty fast. The next guy is your AEW Continental Champion in Kazuchika Okada. Now, for me, this is easy. I keep.
I have never seen in Okada anything that anybody else has seen, but because of the
Wow.
name that he is, I think I'd keep him just to see what he can actually do. But if he keeps performing the way I've seen him in AEW, even before he was in AEW, the 5 matches that I saw him in AEW through New Japan, I mean, somebody got hurt in every single one of those matches, and he didn't look particularly impressive.
That's true.
But I'd keep him. But like maybe it's a I'd be watching that one. Like he might not know it, but he'd be on probation.
Probation. I like it. Well, like I said, we both say keep him, but obviously Jeff has got his reservations about him. But that leads us. This one should be absolutely easy. Aaron Solo, get fucked, go away,
Gone.
on. That's it. We don't even need to say anymore. Action Andretti from Top Flight, out of here,
Gone.
gone. Yeah, Adam Cole, apparently still part of Undisputed Kingdom. I didn't even know. I'd say
Gone.
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 This is funny. Well, and next is the rated first in Adam Copeland, not Edge. Do you keep or does he go? I'd say keep because it's Edge, but I don't care if he was to go either though.
Gone.
But I'll keep him. Wow. Okay. Hangman Adam Page. As much as I can't stand him, you still keep him, I guess, at this point.
I'd keep him.
All right. Alex Abrahantes, get
Gone.
fucked. The worst hype guy I've seen in my life, gone. Alex Reynolds, gone.
Gone.
Is he gone for you? Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
And Calico, who's been wasting space in AEW for many years, out, gone.
Gone.
What about the cool hand in Angelo Parker? Gone.
Somebody's got to lose.
So he's a cool hand, in other words?
Yeah.
So you're going to keep him?
Yeah. But it wouldn't break my heart. But yeah, I would probably keep him.
Interesting. Anthony Bowens. I'll keep him because of the Acclaimed. It's a decent tag team. Although they're pushing my patience very bad at the moment.
Yeah. I'd keep him, but somebody is managing his social media.
Okay, that's interesting. I won't even get into that because there's no time to, but maybe I should pay attention more about his social media. He's very pro, you know what, but that's cool.
Be
That's
pro
cool
whatever
for
it
him,
is, but social media is terrible.
that's true too. Also, speaking of terrible. We got the governor in Anthony Ogogo, who's apparently part of Shane Taylor Promotions. Get
Gone.
fucked. You're
Yeah,
useless. Gone. AR Fox. This one's a tough one, but I'd keep him as a good hand, actually. To take losses.
I don't care, but
It's debatable.
sure. The
Right.
okay, with the caveat, these guys that are supposed to lose don't get to have 17 minutes to lose with top guys. But yeah, AR Fox, fine, keep them.
All right. Next is your premier athlete in Arya Davari. I don't
Gone.
like him,
Goodbye.
dude. Gone.
Goodbye.
Yeah, see you later. Austin Gunn, part of the Bang Bang Gang. I'll definitely keep him. They've grown on me. The little Gun brothers. They're actually pretty good as a tag team these days. I'd say
Heck,
keep.
keep.
What about the Bendeco Bandito, who I forgot all about, who I haven't seen in a long time, over a year? I would keep him because it's Bandito, but at this point, I don't know if it matters because he's gone anyway.
Well, I'm going to keep him because because there's going to be a lot of people gone, the dynamics will be different. But we'll see. I mean, he broke his wrist, and then I think he re-injured himself. So, I mean, he'd be on a watch list.
All right. Well, next is the Redwood Big Bill. I'll definitely keep him. He's something
Yeah,
you would want around, and he's looking
absolutely.
great. So you agree with that one, Jeff?
Yep.
Well, next is Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. Now, look, yes, he's a legend. Yes, he looks great for his age. But God damn it, do you need to be on television? I don't think so. So in saying that, I'd keep him for the back, as a legend, to give advice to the young guys, even though they don't want advice. Other than that, I'd keep him out of the ring. So get out of here, Billy. You've done your time. You've had your time. See you later.
Whatever advice that he's been attempting to give for 5.5 years hasn't been taken hold. So I say he's useless and he's a distraction. So I get rid of him.
Well, next is Bishop Khan. I'm sorry to say this. I know you don't mind the gates of hemorrhoids,
Mhm.
but he's so useless, dude. He can't talk, doesn't say anything. I hardly see him. So in my opinion, you can or can't get out of here. See you later. Bye.
I'm keeping him.
You're keeping him?
Hmm.
You like him though, so that doesn't surprise me.
Well, I
Next
would,
is the
in my
Brandon
8
of
to
all
10 tag
cutlers.
teams, would be him and Taya Leone, and they would be positioned differently.
Yeah, but I need to see more from him. He doesn't do much. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like all I see him wrestle, they don't talk, they don't do nothing. Like
A, he's not the booker.
that's
B,
my issue.
you don't have to
Right.
agree with me.
That's true. And I don't. So for me, gone, you keep. I knew you were going to say keep him anyway because you've always had a thing for him. Brandon Cutler is easy. Get fucked.
Get totally fucked.
Totally fucked. Next is your Ring of Honor World TV Champion, Brian Cage. I'm so conflicted with this guy. I might keep him, but it's very.
You know what? I'm
I might
not.
regret it though.
Get rid of him.
See, I'm happy with that too. But Brody King of the House of Black, I'll definitely keep.
I'd keep him.
All right, and what about Mr. Brian Danielson? Is he a detriment to himself or is he a
Yeah,
detriment to the company? Either way, do you keep him or does he stay? Or does he go? Sorry.
he'd go.
You know what? I agree with you, Danielson. You're just a problem right now. Just take a breather, man.
And he's
Retire and be happy with your wife.
and I think he gives legitimacy and permission to the
He
problems.
does. No, he does because you know what I've noticed about Danielson now since he's gone to AEW. He showed that really he's not as good as everybody was claiming he was. Do you know what I mean? He's a great wrestler, don't get me
I
wrong.
just think
But as far as the
he has
brain for pro
terrible
wrestling,
taste. I think that he
yeah,
likes booking the same way as Tony Khan. Every match should be 20,
that's what I'm
26
saying.
minutes. And it shouldn't matter if Brian Danielson is fighting AR Fox or Aaron Solo or Brian Cage. It should be the same match.
I agree. I agree 100%. Sorry, Danielson. It is what it is. Next, Jeff, we got the bad apple, and I truly mean that. The bad apple in Brian Keith.
Oh, gone.
Uh,
Completely gone.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, dude. You're too small to be a bounty hunter. Plus, you don't even utilize that damn gimmick. Where's your lasso, dude? I want to see motherfuckers get hogtied, but we don't, unfortunately. Next is my guy from my hometown of Melbourne. Funny enough, in Buddy Matthews. I mean, you got to keep. I mean, he looks great. Cannot talk for shit though. That's what holds him back.
I keep him.
But you keep him. He's a great athlete, obviously. Cash Wheeler of FTR. Uh, you keep him because you need decent tag teams. But again, they're pushing. They're really pushing with my patience, dude.
I should keep them, but I'm not going to just make. But I would rehire them in 2 months just to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. We lump them up together. Actually, is this FTR?
Yeah, I mean,
Do we keep
when you get to
say
that,
that? Let's
it's
just
the
say
same thing.
FTR anyway. So basically, all right, cool. Well, next is the learning tree and the teacher himself and Chris Jericho. Name wise, you keep him, but god damn it, stop him from just destroying this company with these weird storylines. But I guess, look, it's Jericho. He can be entertaining, but he's got an ego and he loves himself. But I'd still keep him, unfortunately.
I'd keep him, but it would be under my rules and my restrictions, and then we'll see how it goes.
Well, that leaves us to the next guy in the patriarchy himself, as in Christian Cage. I keep him because when he's allowed to run with the ball, he can be pretty entertaining. Although he's up there in age, I'll still keep him though.
Yeah, no, I would keep Christian.
Well, next is the Kentucky Gentleman in Chuck Taylor. Fuck off. Get out of
Gone.
here straight
Gone.
away. Gone. We've already spoken about Costagnoli. Next is your Boom Boom in Colcabana. Sorry,
Gone.
dude. Out of here.
Yeah.
Colton Gunn, we agree that we like the gun, so
Yeah.
I guess he stays too. What about the very nice, very evil in Danhausen? I'd say get out of here for now, please. I know
I
you
keep
like
him.
him. I
I-
can't stand him.
It's okay.
Eh,
I keep him.
oh well. Okay. Well, next is the dancing queen himself in Daniel Garcia. Out of here for me. Get fucked,
Completely.
Daniel.
Almost everything that's wrong with AEW is right in that picture. Yeah, get rid of Daniel Garcia.
Well, the next few that are coming up, you could actually say the same thing. Next is Top Flight Tone Dante Martin. Out of here, dude.
I think I'm keeping Top Flight.
Man, I can't stand these brothers, man. Darby Allin, though, next. I actually would keep him. I'm actually a fan of Darby's.
I'm keeping Darby.
Now, you said keep Top Flight, so I'm only going to go in Darius Martin. But the point is, he's always injured anyway. And we spoke about the FTR boys, so we keep him. I'll keep them. Next is Jalistico from La Facción Ingobernable.
Gone.
I like
Goodbye.
Jalistico, but I don't see enough of him on TV. Really? Gone. Okay, I'll
Gone.
keep him. How about your Ring of Honor 6, Dustin Rhodes? Is he gone
Gone.
for you?
Gone.
I kind of agree. Fuck off, Dustin. Sorry, man. I like you, but your time's up. What about Dutch, the righteous one? Get out of here for me.
Yeah, keeping House of Black. One's enough.
Yeah, that's true. What about the Mad King? Whatever that means. In Eddie Kingston. Fuck off, Eddie. I can't stand you.
Yeah, he's gone.
Sorry, Jeff. I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
He's gone. Bob
Gone?
Ambrose. Gone.
All right. Oh God, there's a few here. Evil Luna out of here.
Gone.
I assume you agree with that. Griff Garrison out of here.
Gone.
Hologram.
Gone.
You've never seen Hologram before. He's kind
He's
of
Aramis. I saw him for a year
pretty
in
good, but
MLW.
again,
Gone.
Yeah, probably gone. I know, you're right. That's exactly who that is. Hook, I would keep.
Gone.
Wow. Okay. What about a Zay Cassidy or brother Zay from Private Party?
Gone.
I'd still keep him. I know he's annoying, but I'd keep him because okay. So gone from you, keep from me. Um, next is Jay Lethal.
Keep.
I'd keep him in a more, backstage type of deal, and you can have
Mhm.
him wrestle here and there, but really, he's useless in his company. So, I'd say, you know what, go. Sorry, Jay. I like you, dude, but yeah, out of here. Jeff, does he go or does he stay?
Which one? Who?
Okay. All right. Next is Jay White. Obviously, for me, it's a big keep. I'll build
Yeah.
the company around him, like in the future, but that's just me. Jeff, how about you?
Keep him.
Yep. All right.
Keep.
Next is JE double F J A double R E double T. Jeff Jarrett, of course. I'd keep him because he's actually I feel like he's good at multiple roles. Even if you need someone to do some sort of storyline matchup, for me, I'd keep him because any great,
I keep him as a booker.
definitely, man, 100%. Next is fucking John Silver. Fuck off. I'm not even gonna go there. Just get fucked.
Who is that?
I'm sure you agree with that one, Jeff.
John Silver. Oh
John
yeah, he's
Silver, the guy that loves dicks.
whatever. He's gone anyway. Whatever he loves,
Out
he's
of
gone.
here. What about Johnny TV, Johnny released, Johnny fucking whatever you want to? Johnny, get the fuck out of here, man. That's my
This hurts,
opinion.
but yeah, I'd have to get rid of him.
All right. Well, next we've got the technical beast from the premier athletes in Josh Woods. At this point, he's pretty boring. He looks good, but he's boring. So go.
I'd keep him.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Next is Rock Hard. Juice Robinson. I'll definitely keep him. What
Hmm.
about you, Jeff?
Yep, I'd keep him.
You keep him?
Yes.
All right. Then we got the wrestler, the legit wrestler, apparently, Katsuyori Shibata. I love this guy. Like in the past, before they had to take his brain out practically, and his skull was cracked thanks to Kazuchika Okada. And I'm only saying this for his own safety, but sorry, Shibata, but you got to go, dude. You got to go away from yourself. Just retire, man. You're pretty banged up, but I like you.
Gone.
All right. What about the limited Keith Lee? Not the limitless, but the limited Keith Lee. Sorry, big
Gone.
boy. If you're not going to come back, yeah, see you later. Kenny Omega, the executive vice president, I definitely keep. Like I said, I'm a big Kenny fan. What about you, Jeff? You're going to say
I'm getting
gone.
rid of him.
So what was your answer?
Gone.
Wow. Damn, that's harsh. All right, what about Kill Switch, who, by the way, apparently has gotten worse with his pneumonia, so hopefully he recovers. But I'm sorry to say, gone.
He's never going to wrestle again, so it doesn't matter.
You think he's done after all that?
Yeah, I mean, I just the episode of Garden Views I dropped today. Jet Jansen, who's a Hollywood guy, he trained Kill Switch, and
Right.
he said that
Oh,
he's lost
really?
like 70% of his lung capacity.
Wow. No, I
That
knew
they think
he'd
he's going to
turned,
recover,
got
meaning
worse.
they think he's going to live, but they don't know they'll ever be able to wrestle again.
Gee, that's fucking wow. Well,
You know, by
get
the way,
well
he also
soon, Kill
trained
Switch, man.
Karrion
But
Cross, and he names a third guy that he also trained. I can't remember.
go and check the show out,
He also did.
peeps.
He also did some
For
body
that
work
matter.
in the WWE video game. He said, "All 5'6" of
Really?
me. I did the moves for Andre the Giant."
No way.
Yep, yep.
That's funny. That's actually quite funny, but that's typical also. But yeah, I'm sorry, Kill Switch, man, but hopefully you get better.
Me too.
Well, it's getting worse because we got super bad Kip Sabian get out of here, please.
I'm keeping Kip Sabian. I like him.
You always have liked him. I don't even know why, but I can't stand him.
I didn't like
What
him.
about
He won me
Commander?
over in that match with Orange Cassidy.
Interesting. What about Commander? For me, he can command himself out of the arena and onto the streets. Gone.
Gone.
What about? See, this is another tough one for me. I used to love Kota Ibushi, but now he looks weird and out of shape and never turns up on television anyway. So Kota, sorry, buddy, out of here.
Same. Gone.
All right. Next is another Australian like myself in Cole Fletcher. Can't stand the way he sounds. Can't stand his voice is way high pitched. But I do like his look, so I'll keep him.
I don't know exactly what to do with him, but I'm going to keep him.
He's doing pretty well right now on the main. He's upper mid card at the moment. But anyway, next is Kyle O'Reilly.
So gone.
Yeah, gone. This one, the Murder Hawk monster, who's not a Murder Hawk anymore, to be fair. Lance Archer, who's now part of the Don Callis friggin' family. I like Lance, but they don't know what to do with you, bud, so just go home.
I mean, I'm not doing it based on what they're doing. I'm doing it based on what I'm doing.
That's true.
So I would put him with Big Bill and make a new Twin Towers type of team. So I would
be cool.
I would keep him around.
You know what? You won me over on that one. I'll say keep him too now. What about Big Shotty Lee Johnson?
Gone.
Gone. Lee Moriarty, the Catman himself, who's also your Ring of Honor Pure Champion.
Gone.
That's a tough one. Yeah, I agree though. Gone. What about the Butler Luther? Gone
As
for me.
Tony Storm's
Useless.
Butler, I'll keep him.
He does nothing. He's there on, gets a paycheck because of Jericho, dude. Jericho's
Well,
the one that.
I'd give him a paycheck because of being a Butler. If it wasn't for that, he'd
Okay.
be completely gone.
All right. Well, for me, he's still gone. What
Okay.
about the biggest malaka of them all in Malachi Black, who's also House of Black? Obviously, for me, I'd keep, but he doesn't even want to stay there deep down. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's
I'd
not
keep him.
it's not there anymore. It's our version of there. So
Right.
I would keep him.
Absolutely. Next is your Ring of Honor World Champion in Mark Briscoe. Absolutely keep.
I'm not going to make a lot of friends right now, but there's no point.
Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah,
What?
he's gone.
What? Wow. You're going to get heat for that one.
Nothing says indie more than that 8-man.
I know what you're saying. I know what you mean. But still, man, it's Mark Briscoe. But yeah, you're going to get heat for that one. I hope the vet's not listening right now because he'd kill you for that. But anyway, next is another Australian, Mark Davis, formerly of Aussie Open. Dude, get out of here because the best thing that ever happened to Cole Fletcher was him getting injured. No shit. That's the truth, unfortunately. So yeah, sorry, bud. Get out of here. And plus, all you do is growl, and you got a weird body. But anyway, next is the smart Mark himself in Sterling from the Premier Athletes. I kind of like him, man. I'd keep him.
Gone.
Okay. What about Mark Quinn from Private Party? I'd keep also, but for you, gone. How about Daddy Magic and Matt Menard? I actually don't mind him, even though he looks weird. I'd keep him.
On commentary or manager, I'm keeping him.
All right. Matt Seidel.
Gone.
Gone for me.
Gone.
Matt Taven. Oh, I know a lot of people hate him, but I'll keep him.
I'll keep Taven.
Is he gone for you?
No, I'll keep him.
Okay, cool. We already spoke about. Oh, that's good. We spoke about the Acclaimed earlier, so with Max Caster. I mean, would you keep Max Caster even as a singles guy? Say
no, but that's the Acclaimed. Yes.
Okay, Michael Nakazawa, get out of here, buddy. You're just getting money for nothing. Mike Bennett, gone for me.
Gone.
Miro.
Yeah.
Does he redeem himself?
Well, I'd redeem him.
I would too, but it's the last chance. It's the last chance though to salvage anything from him, because at this point, even the fans are not going to care. But I'll keep him. MJF obviously is a keeper, right?
Sure, of course.
The Exalted one, there's no point of going there.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to
or
bring up -1.
no.
But so I'm going to skip a few. What about Nick Comoroto, the hairy motherfucker? Look at that chest. I'd definitely tell him to get out of
Nah.
here. He's got potential by his looks, but I feel like he's just a dumbass type of guy. But anyway, I don't know him. I'm just judging.
Well, he also
Nick
just had fairly
Wayne,
major surgery, and you could
did
still
he?
hire people as enhancement talent or whatever. But I would like Nick Camarato to be sort of like a goon in the D'Angelo family.
Well, he's
Um,
Italian and he's
yeah,
hairy, so yeah, absolutely, that makes
Nick
sense.
Wayne gone. Nick Wayne is gone, gone, gone.
I would keep him because he's still very young and he's a raw talent. I hate his head; he looks like an idiot, but I'll keep him because
He'll be available in
You
5
can work
years.
with him. That's true. Orange Cassidy, he's freshly squeezed. I can't stand him, but I get it. I'm going to keep him, actually. I can't believe I said that.
I get it. I think they got too much out of him. I think he is sort of
They
an
squeezed too
albatross
much?
on the. I think he's an albatross on the identity of this company. I'd get rid of him.
Ooh, okay, interesting. Ortiz. Sorry,
Gone.
bud.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. We spoke
Adios.
about Puck. Paul White. Get out
Adios.
of here, dude. You're useless. Yep. Penta Alzero Miedo. I'd
I
keep.
mean, I'd keep him. Yeah.
Next, who I didn't even realize was still part of the roster. It's the pretty boy himself in Peter Avalon. Get
Gone.
out of here. But is he even still getting paid? What the hell?
I don't know. Just read the.
Right. Yeah. Next is Powerhouse Hobbs, who's also apparently part of the Don Callis family. I would keep, but god damn it, man. I hate that we don't see him on TV.
I'd keep him too.
Preston El Peligroso Vance, get off my
Gone.
TV. Go. Prince Nana, I would keep.
Gone.
You don't like Nana? Damn.
No.
Ray Phoenix.
Gone.
I agree. Gone. I can't stand him anymore. What about the absolute one in Ricky Starks? We already know he's gone anyway. But
Uh,
if you had the opportunity to keep him, do you keep him?
no, he wouldn't be featured in my AEW.
Yeah, he's decent. I don't mind him, but damn it, you're too small. So yeah, Ricky, you can go. Ricochet in Ricochet. I can't stand him, but I understand his value. But for me, he'd be gone if I was booking this shit. So get out of here.
Gone.
You finger banged yourself one too many times. That's it. You're done. Roderick Strong.
Gone.
I'm conflicted, but right now, yeah, gone. What about the El Toro Blanco in Roche? I'll definitely keep.
I'm keeping Roosh.
Next is your Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion in Sammy Guevara. Out of here,
Gone.
buddy. Get out of here.
Do that
What
one
about the
personally.
King of Television? Samoa Joe, I'll definitely keep.
If he wants to stay, I'd let him stay.
Scorpio Sky. Sorry, dude. Gone for
Yeah.
me now.
Gone. Yeah.
Serpentico, out
Gone.
of here, bro. Next is Captain Sean Dean. Gone for me.
Gone.
Is he gone for you too?
Yep.
What about the gold standard himself, Shelton Benjamin? I'm definitely going to keep because I've always been a fan of his. So yeah, I keep Shelton. What about
Makes no
the
sense to me in this promotion. Gone.
eh? Oh, really? Okay, I keep him. Sunjay Dutt for me, gone.
I'd keep him in the back.
I can't stand him. You know my feelings. Anyway, the Icon Sting, who I thought he was retired, but I guess he's not officially retired yet. I mean, Sting. They don't have these type of legends or icons in AEW, so I would definitely keep him.
I don't care.
That's not an answer. It's a yes or no, Jeff. Come on.
Gone.
Oh, that's harsh. All right, next is Stokely Hathaway. I'll definitely keep him.
Keeping.
Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Definitely
Keep him.
Swerve's house. I keep him. Oh, but this one though. Definitely keeping him. He is absolutely entertaining as hell right now, dude.
Fine, I'll keep him.
The blade can get chopped for me.
Gone.
That leaves us the butcher. Sorry, bud. Another one. Just
Yeah, he's
you've
gone.
done your time. See you later.
Gone. Yeah.
Toa Leona for me, gone. I know you like Toa Leona, so he stays with you, right?
Right.
But next we got the premier athlete of all the premier athletes in Tony Nese. Love your
Gone.
friggin' 10-pack, but no charisma if you ever had any. So gone for you, Tony. Champeretta out of here.
Absolutely gone.
Vincent, I'm sorry, but another one out of here.
Yeah. Sorry. Me too.
I know, I see that because you've spoken to him before, haven't you? I
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah, he was on Yard
Next
Number
is Mr. Mayhem. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Next is the Mr. Mayhem himself, or should he be called Mr. Nowhere to be found in Wardlow. I will definitely keep him, but something is off in this situation. I don't know if it's his attitude or if it's AEW, but the idiot's no less, so I'll definitely keep him.
Well, I'd keep him.
But what about the Ospreys of all Ospreys in Will Ospreay? I obviously would keep him also, but he annoys me at times.
Yeah, I'd keep him.
All right. Well, that's the end of the
I guess I guess they're hiding a lot of people under Ring of Honor. So all right, that's fine.
All right. Well, next is the women's roster.
Okay.
It's a bit bloated, but a lot of junk in this roster. But anyway,
Let's go, little thing.
Abaddon, the Living Dead girl, gone. Anna Jay, just because she's of her looks, she can't wrestle for shit, but she's hot, so I'd keep her.
Keep her. It's fine.
Next is your Ring of Honor World's Women's Champion in Athena. You obviously would keep, but god damn it,
I
you're on
wouldn't.
television. Damn it.
She's gone.
Next is the Doctor. She's gone for you
Yeah.
at Athena.
Mhm.
Wow. Next is your Doctor DMD and Britt Baker. Right now, I would have to say gone. If you asked me this a few years back, I'll definitely say stay. But right now, she's got to go, dude.
It's fine. Gone.
Yana Perazzo, gone for me.
Yeah, probably gone for me too.
Next is Diamante. Get out of here, girl. You're never on TV anyway. So gone.
Yeah.
Emi Sakura. She's entertaining to me. She looks, I don't like her look. I don't like her gimmick. But damn it, she's rough in the ring. So she entertains me. I'll keep, actually.
Gone. Sayonara.
Next is the Outcast own Harley Cameron, another fellow Australian. For me, she's a laugh. She's pretty useless, but she tries and she entertains me anyway. So I'd keep her, and she's hot too.
Keep. Her rap video
Next
was the
is-
best thing AEW's ever produced.
Bro, that was fucking great, man. Even the TMZ shit they were doing, that was so good. I don't understand why they even stopped that, but whatever.
Because it was good.
They don't know what they're doing. Yeah. Unbelievable. Next is Hikaru Fat Face Sheeta because she's put on quite a bit of weight and she looks weird. But nevertheless, I'll keep her because she's pretty good in the ring anyway. But I'm not the
Gone.
biggest fan, but I get it. Oh, gone for you. Jamie Hayter, for me, get out of here. I can't stand her now with this look.
Gone.
Julia Hart of House of Black, another useless woman in my opinion. Gone. Camille, she can't wrestle for shit, but damn it, she's got a presence. That's good enough for me. I'll keep her.
Keeping.
Karen Jarrett,
Gone.
gone. Kiera Hogan looks great, but again, useless. Gone for me.
Gone.
Chris Statlander, the formerly known as an alien that's not an alien anymore. I'd keep her. She sucks pretty much though, but I'd keep her because she's another one you can build for in the future just by her looks alone.
Gone.
Wow. Layla Gray, I'll keep
Keeping.
because I think she's got more to offer. Sorry?
Keeping.
All right. What about the not so legit Russian girl herself in Layla Hirsch? Gone
Gone.
for me. Madison Rain, definitely get out of
Gone.
here. You've done your time. The problem, she's definitely a problem. In Marina Shafir, she's
Completely
improved
gone.
a lot right now. What did you say?
Gone.
I'm going to keep her right now. I would have said gone if you asked me a year ago, but right now I don't mind her. Mercedes Martinez. I was a fan of hers many years ago, but again, I don't care anymore. So you're gone.
Gone.
What about Mother Wayne of the patriarchy? Gone for me.
Gone.
What did they call her again? Nyla Rose, the something beast, was it?
I call her gone.
I call her gone also. So get out of here. Penelope Ford for me, who's apparently a super bad girl. I used to like you, but you haven't improved at all. Gone.
She can stay.
Queen Aminata, definitely she stays with me.
Stays.
Rebel, whatever's happened to her. She's pretty useless,
Gone.
but so gone. Your Ring of Honor World TV champion, which I didn't even realize it, in Red Velvet.
Uh,
I'll keep
uh,
her. I'll keep her
sure, I'll keep her.
She just barely made it. Rio,
Gone.
you go first. This one's a hard one for me. Yeah, probably gone. Too small. Ruby Soho, out of here.
Gone.
Soraya, I'd keep just because of name wise. They need some names on the roster.
I'll keep her boobs.
Definitely keep her boobs. What about the woman of 1,000 holds in Serena Deeb? I'll definitely keep her because truly she's probably the best women's wrestler in terms of in ring in AEW. But they don't know what to do with her. But I'd keep her.
I mean, if I'm going to keep her or Deanna Perrazzo, I'm keeping Deanna Perrazzo. So I'm not keeping either of them.
Wow, damn! I'd choose Deeb over freaking Prazo any day. But that's just me.
Okay, I'll
Sky
take the younger
Blue
one,
was it?
but I'm not taking either. I mean,
Right,
nobody
that's fair
wants to
enough.
see technical women's wrestling.
I know your thoughts about women's wrestling, but come on. Sky Blue again. She's all about her assets than anything else. So get out of here.
Gone.
Hey Mello, you
Gone.
Sammy girl, gone. Yeah. Taya Valkyrie, I can't stand her look right now. She's looking too non-feminine sort of lady. She reminds me of Luna Vachon even esque, Luna Vachon esque in a way, in a weird way. But Valkyrie, if you asked me a year ago, I would have said keep at this point, but you're useless, gone.
I think I'm keeping her.
You potential, you can build it into a beast, but no one seems to do that right now. Thunder Rosa, I'd keep as long as
I'm,
she
keep,
keeps out of trouble.
I'm keeping her.
What about another fellow Australian of mine in Tony Storm? Definitely keep her.
Yep, keeping her.
Next is Willow Nightingale. I'll keep her because I've seen some range with her lately. But
Oh,
she can be a bit cheesy and corny, but I'll keep her.
I'm definitely keeping Willow.
How about the magical girl in Yuka Sakazaki? Get the hell out of here for
I don't
me.
know who that is, but I'm getting rid of her.
Do you remember the genie in AEW, the Asian girl that was like a genie? You would have seen her.
Maybe, maybe not.
She's changed her look a little bit though.
I don't care.
What about the broadcast team? Do we talk about this
Let's
and
happily
then
talk
we
about
end it,
them.
or do we skip that?
Let's talk about them.
Sorry?
Yeah, let's do them.
All right. Well, let's start with Alex Marvez.
Gone.
He's gone for me. Can't stand him. Alicia Atut.
Gone.
I can't stand her attitude, dude. Gone. Oh, Alvaro Riojas. Riojas.
Don't
I
know
don't
who
know
he
who
is.
he is
Gone.
because I don't know him. Gone. Who the fuck is Arcadia Aura? Actually, I do know who that is, but still gone.
I'll keep her.
Okay. Bobby Cruz, I actually like. So I'll
Fuck
keep.
Bobby Cruz.
What about Carlos Cabrera? Only
Fuck
because
him
he's
too.
kind of a legend. I'll keep him for the Mexican or the Spanish broadcast table, obviously.
He's
What about
gone.
Excaliberto himself?
Absolutely gone. First,
Uh,
first on the list.
yeah, true. See you later, Excalibur. You can't even show your face for crying out loud. Enrico Boni, I'm sorry, buddy, gone.
Yeah, he
JR,
can go.
because he's a legend, I'd keep, but at this stage, he doesn't bring much to the table, and it's kind of sad to hear him. So I'm
Different
sorry,
roles.
Jim, but you got to go, man.
Yeah, different
True,
role.
true. What about the Yappa Dappa in Justin Roberts? I can't stand this guy, dude. For some
I don't
reason,
care.
he's
It's a
gone
ring
for me.
announcer. I don't care.
Right. Lexi Nair, DDP's stepdaughter.
Keeping her.
Is she, yeah, I'll probably keep it too. Nigel McGuinness, I'm definitely keeping because he entertains me. How about you, Jeff?
Gone.
Wow. Okay. What about Renee Paquette? I'll keep her because she's probably the best, for that role in AEW in what she does. So I'll
I'll
keep
keep
her.
her.
You?
Keep her.
Why is Satnam Singh in this part of the roster as a
I have an
broadcast
answer for
team?
you.
Anyway,
He's not because he's gone.
yeah, because he's gone. Exactly. Taz, I'll definitely keep.
Keeping Taz.
What about Tony Schiavone in Tony Schiavone?
He can cut
Look,
the
because
shit.
of
He's
my
out of here.
childhood, I love Tony only because it reminds me of back in the day. I'll keep him. Oh, this one's going to be good, though. The referees, Aubrey Edwards, out of here, girl. Get out
Completely gone. Yeah,
ASAP. Brandon Martinez is actually not too bad. I'll keep him.
he can stay.
Bryce Rimberg, fuck off.
Gone.
Leave me alone. Mike Posey, because you look like a poser, gone.
I don't know. Fine, he can stay.
Paul Turner, a lot of people don't like his referee style, but I actually keep him.
He can stay.
Rick Knox, get fucked. Another
Get
useless friggin' ref.
Terrible.
Is he gone for you? Terrible,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Stephon Smith, I actually don't mind him. It's another one that actually tries to do his job. So I'll
Yeah, he
keep
came
him.
from NXT. They never should let him go. Yes, he stays.
Definitely stays. Now we got the coaches, if you want to call them that, because they can also be your writers in a way. But it's Jerry Lynn. Should he stay or should he go?
I know people love Jerry Lynn, and I know I mentioned him earlier, but like he was supposed to be in management roles in 3 different promotions, and all of them went straight to shit. And I'm not saying it's his fault, but he certainly wasn't part of the helping crew. So in this role as a coach, get fucked.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think he hasn't brought that much to the table. He should have, but he hasn't.
Like I would,
So get out of
I
here.
might keep Shelton Benjamin in that role if he was interested. Yeah, so someone like
Oh, he'd
that.
be great in that role, I think. Pat Buck, I don't like the guy. Never have, man. So go.
Yeah, not interested.
Sarah Stock, whoever that is. She's got a
I
good
don't
rack
know.
by the looks of things, but that's about it.
I mean, they could have Mercedes Martinez, Serena Deeb, or any combination, or both of them as coaches. I mean, from what I've seen of the women's division, it's mostly tragic. So, no. And I thought Madison Rain was the coach. So anyway, Sarah Stock can go. With the caveat, I don't really know what these 3 people can offer, so they could have tryouts afterwards to get their jobs back. But they would be part of the reduction in force. But they would be. I would send letters to some people inviting them back to try out, and then FTR would have to wait their 6 to 8 weeks in punishment.
Oh, damn, that's nice. That's a good one, Jeff. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're at the end finally, Jeff.
Okay.
And we went over 2 hours, which is surprisingly.
Well, make sure you send this to Andrew Bidella, send this to Marie Shadows, and send this to JD from New York, so that they can.
Well, he blocked me.
Put this in their list.
JD, go and eat a dick. I've done nothing wrong to you, bud. What's your problem, man?
All right. Well, have somebody in the Hameen Media Group that isn't blocked send it to JD from New York.
And Andrew Baidala is such a soft cock dude, if you want to call it that.
But this is part of the discussion that they all want to have. So let's give them this discussion.
Absolutely. And we think there's a whole 2 hours worth, actually. I'll even give him part 1 on top of that. But in saying that, Jeff, tell them what you're doing, what you're up to, and where they can find you.
Well, I sort of guest on wrestling podcasts periodically, so you see me here in HMG occasionally. I'm usually on Pro Wrestle Times like once a week, but I can't tell you what night because it's never the same. Doing some other guest stuff. I do the Body Slam briefs where legal and wrestling meets. Those are on Wrestling Soup. They're usually a half hour or 15 minutes, that type of length. But my baby is Garden of Doom, and you're seeing the logo behind it. And with Garden of Doom comes Garden Views and GOD presents Book of Black. So Garden of Doom is like occult and mythology, things that go bump in the night, ufology, history, alternative anthropology, archaeology, everything from academia to doing a deep dive into the show Lost or Babylon 5. It's a huge variety of things. Garden Views is similar variety, but it's mostly law, business, science, tech, and pop culture. Like I said today, I had Jet Jansen, who's Emmy nominated for his stunt work in the Righteous Gemstones. He's been in Stranger Things. He wrote, directed, and produced a movie with Karrion Kross. It's coming out very soon. He's just done a whole bunch of things. And like I said, he trained a few wrestlers, and he's done body work for the video games. He's done some shit. So it's a fun interview. He talks about unions and gilding, and just we talk about Rust a little bit, the movie What Went Wrong. And GOD Presents Book of Black is me and my co-host, Dr. PJ Black. You may remember him as Justin Gabriel. And we talk about Garden of Doom things, except with people in and around wrestling. Some of our guests have been Jimmy Jacobs, Tyrus, Austin Idol, who you might know as Aaron Stevens or Damian Sandow. Names escape me now. Mr. Thomas, and even when PJ takes off, I have two substitute co-hosts already lined up. One being Mr. Thomas and one being Super Panda, and they've both been guests also on the show. So even when PJ's on break, the show will go on.
Oh, nice, beautiful. Well, if you want to follow me on the X, you can at DJ MassifX, and also at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here, Channel Attitude. Sorry, Jeff, what'd you say?
I should say X. Yeah. You at Icarus Fell MD or at Dose Evil, whichever one you want, or both.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Yeah, like I said, at DJ MassifX, at PWC Network for myself. But more importantly, please like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the best, but also the realest talk in all of pro wrestling. Also, HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows. Also, the YouTube channel right here at HMG. Please share and subscribe and share it all around, because we need that 1,000 mark. We're real close to it. Please get us over the line to that 1K point, because it will mean the world for us. So please just share it everywhere. Tell everybody where we're at. You know, we are the best wrestling network in town. And why wouldn't we say that? We think we're the best, so please share and subscribe. And also at the PWC Network YouTube channel, where you can also do the same thing, which would be very much appreciated. Thank you, Grass, for that one. Please share it around, dude. And that's about it. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the evil doctor himself in Dr. Jeff Lippman. And you've been listening and watching the Outside Interference Show, the AEW edition, that is, right here on Hamin Media Group, channelattitude.com, and also at the PWC Network. And we're outskis. Thank you for everybody, by the way, in joining us. Very much appreciated. And, you know, stay tuned for Brandon and the After Dark show, which starts roughly in just over 15 minutes. So, yeah, we're out. Peace.
Stay here, my friends.